$10,000 per student. Some towns have $12,000–$15,000 per student per year. And where is all this thing getting us? The competition to see whose pants can hang the furthest down. I got a lot of documentation on it, a whole lot of stuff. Some years ago here, we were up against, I think, about 21 different nations, and we came 18 and 19. We came in 18 and 19. Yeah, this is how well we did in education. Now, I don't think this is going to be any good here. Let me quote a little bit out of this book, just a little bit. The teachers' colleges are conferring degrees that are as meaningless as a piece of used Kleenex that has been lying in the gutter after last week's rainstorm. Yeah. You got that? I'll do it again for you. The teachers' colleges are conferring degrees that are as meaningless as a piece of used Kleenex that's been laying in the gutter after last week's rainstorm. There's knowledge for you, huh? Yeah, I tell you. Here's another one about the ignorance of America. This guy here, his name is Neil Ross. Very smart guy. And he knows how to make quotes too. And I'm going to quote this for you here. Sometimes I'm tempted to ask people if they can see China. The reason I say that is because they have to have their heads buried so far in the sand that they must be able to see it. Oh boy, he puts it right where his money is, right where his mouth is. This is really the thing here. And George Bush, all these Khazar Jews, these are not Semitic Jews. So when someone tells you, if you say something about Israel today, that you're anti-Semitic, tell them that you're not anti-Semitic, but they are liars and cheaters and robbers and stealers. And they are not Semitic. They can't say with validity that you are anti-Semitic because they're not Semitic people. They're false Jews. That's what it is. And in Ezekiel 38:1-3, it says, And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and says, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Well, oh boy, I tell you, this is, you know, remember in the Bible, when Jesus went into the temple and he threw out the bankers, the usury bankers there? Well, it's the same people who run this piece of real estate called America today. Yeah, these are the 666 people, I call them. I'm going to read something to you here. The Scroll of Bush, the first page of which is pictured here, pompously claims to be promulgated in the name of the Lord Eternal God. The Scroll of Bush, identifying him as the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal in Ezekiel 38:1, leader of the West. And that's what you're looking at here. This is what they gave him in Israel. I wonder if he's an Ashkenazi Jew. In First Chronicles 1, you'll find a description of Ashkenazi. You say Ashkenazi, they're Gog and Magog. That's who these people are. And the Illuminati part of the thing is what you're looking at here. You look at all this kind of, the Khazar Jews Sanhedrin. And that's what you're looking at here. The Sanhedrin in the days of Christ was there. And today we are ruled by the British Illuminati people. The final triumph of the British over America. You know, one of the societies have the Pilgrim Society, the Royal Institute of International Affairs, and all this kind of stuff there. Now you take the Statue of Liberty. What is it? The British Freemasonry brought that thing over here. And that the torch that she's holding up there, you think that's one for freedom in reality? No. It's the Illuminati torch. But no one pays attention to it. I have a theory I'm going to share with you. This is theory, so I don't have viable documentation to really prove all of it. But the plausibility of it is very, very good. The pilgrims that fled England and lived in Holland, they didn't have much money. They didn't have much money at all. They couldn't get any kind of jobs that would, say, pay for the Mayflower. Who financed them? I believe the Rothschilds did. But I can't prove it by black and white documentation, but the scenario is interesting to explore. And these guys weren't any Christians either, in my viewpoint. Another good point to explore. The British kings always knew that the piece of real estate called America was very valuable. And these guys were looking for money, and they had to have a lot of thousands of immigrants to work this country, to develop it, so that the country could be for the benefit of the Novus Ordo Seclorum Society over in good old Britain there, you know. This is how they did that. And I would say to you that that's exactly what happened. They came over here and they built all these ships to carry immigrants over here so they could populate the place for the benefit of the New World Order over there in jolly old England. And since England is an island and the statue sits on an island in New York Harbor, well, that's an interesting sort of thing there. And this is what you're looking at here. The British took a brilliant step by passing the Statute of Westminster in 1931 that the UK would establish legislative equality between the self-governing dominions of their empire and the mother country. So you have all this sort of things that comes in here. I look at this stuff a lot, and we're going to get together with the British more and more as time goes by. I believe when Bush in 2004, went to Canada to speak to the then Prime Minister Martin over there, now he said, it's good to be home. He said that in Canada. What did Bush mean it was good to be home? I thought his home was in the United States. But no, he said to the Canadian Prime Minister at the time, it's good to be home. And I guess it seems to be a working thing, because I believe the Queen and the big people over there in jolly old England runs this country. Yeah. This is not a country, but they run this corporation. So this is a fraudulent society. We have been taken to the cleaners good here. The most successful fraud in American history. Wow, this is really something here when you read this kind of stuff here. You know, I mean, it's fascinating to go into it. Very fascinating. You can't read it over there, but it's a very fascinating. All this, you can find this on LewRockwell.com. Very informative website. And the perpetrators have done this by invading your brains. They have taken up all the common sense brain cells that you still had and replaced them with fraudulent ones. Yeah. This is what they did. James Madison and all these people there, you know, I mean, they were educated by the kings over on the other side. And then they came back and they said that we are independent. When they worked for the British, they came up with a very, very good scheme to fool everybody. And the Bible backs it up by saying, my people perish for lack of what? For lack of knowledge. I talked a little bit about education a couple of 3 minutes ago here, and you see this thing here. We are the least educated of any intelligent society, so-called. It's astonishing.